Good evening, everybody. And today, as you can see on the screen there, I have either a UV32 or a DM32. Well, it's actually the DM32, the digital one. So today is going to be first of a two-part series on how to program the DM32. And today it's going to be analog, and well, I might do them both today, but it will be two separate videos. So the first thing that I've noticed in chats and various other places like this, people just keep saying, oh, just use chirp. No. You can't use chirp on any DM radio. It doesn't work. You have to use the CPS that comes with the radio. The UV32, yes, you can use that with chirp using, I believe it's the UV17 or the UV22 option in chirp. But the DM32, no, you can't. Anyway, let's get going. So I have already downloaded the CPS software. As you can see, it's here, and I got it from Baofeng's website. We go into the pages and downloads, DM series, and there it is, DM32. So let's go back to the screen here. So I have the file here, so let's extract it. Okay, that's pretty quick. So I've got it extracted here, and let's install it. Okay. And just give it a few seconds, and there we go. Okay, so let's close this. Now we now have a new icon on my desktop of very many different programming icons, and it's this one. So let's fire it up, and you've got this. So anybody that's familiar with DMR programming, you'll probably be able to work it out. I mean, a DMR is a little bit... Huh? How do you mean? When you do that, what does that mean? But if you just take it step by step, it's actually pretty simple. And once you've done one, you should be easily able to work your way around a different CPS. So the first thing we do is I want to back up this radio. First time I do any programming on a radio, I always create a backup of the image before I do anything. So let's turn the radio on.
One.
Okay, so let's get the...
Two.
Oops.
One.
Let's get my favorite cable plugged in. My CH340 with the multiple different connectors on it. Right, let's get my hand out of the way, get it to refocus. Okay. So I've got it turned on, I've got the cable plugged in. So the first thing I want to do is I want to go to the settings, which is the COM. And in this case for today, it's COM port 5. If you don't know how I found out the COM ports, I do have other videos on that. If I get a chance, I'll show you towards the end of the video. It does have the USB option here, which is interesting, so I might have to have a look into that later on. Anyway, I'm just going to use the COM port 5, and leave the baud rate the same. So click OK. And as I say, the first thing we do is we read the data. I'm going to read everything, so it's including the digital contacts. You don't have to. I'm just showing you how I back up a radio before I start messing around with the settings on it. Especially new ones, until I get used to them. So we just have to wait for it to finish backing up. Come on. Maybe I should have just used the normal settings instead of the digital contacts. It's taking a little bit of time here. I'll tell you what, when I rewrite back to the radio again, I won't do the digital contacts. I do have a contacts list anyway, which I normally import, which takes a while, but... Right, okay, here we go. So, read successful, and there we go. Now, all these channels in these radios, when they come from the manufacturer or whatever, are all test frequencies. So realistically, you shouldn't really be using any of these test frequencies in your area. Wherever your area happens to be, you'll need to check your band plan. So what I would normally do is I would normally just get rid of all of these. So I'm just going to do that. Now then it won't let me highlight them all. So let's just do it that way. Delete, delete, delete. Oh. And delete, 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 delete. And I can't delete the last one because, well, you can't. Anyway, so as I say, we're just doing analog programming, which is the primary part of this video. So what we need for analog programs, you guys know, you either use simplex, which is usually two radios talking to each other and they're using the same frequency, or you use is it called duplex? Oh, anyway, whatever. Or you use the repeater settings where there is an offset for transmit and receive. So today I'm just going to set up one repeater and one simplex. So first of all, for the repeater, where do you go? Let's bring it up here. I go to repeaterbook.com and I've used the filter, and as I'm in North Vancouver, as a lot of you probably know, I'll be selecting the repeater I am very, well, not very close to, but reasonably close to. It also has a very large footprint, which is this one, which is V7RPT. As you can see, we've got the downlink, that's what you listen on, and the uplink, that's what you transmit on. And that's the offset, so 0.600 megahertz. So basically, the downlink is that, and negative 0.600, oh my god, 00 megahertz makes it 146.34 instead of 146.94. And there is also an uplink tone. What that means is when you transmit, you need to use the uplink tone, because if you don't, the repeater will not listen to you and it won't open itself to rebroadcast. Anyway, so we've got the settings here. So the downlink is 146.94. So let's copy that and jump back to the CPS. Let's name it. So, right, sorry, I don't know if you didn't see me do that because I wasn't explaining. So to set this up, just double click on it and it brings up all the information here. So I'm going to say VE7RPT. Oops. 7RPT. Now remember, the frequency we're looking for is the downlink, which means listening. So that's us listening to it. So it's the RX. And it won't let me copy and paste. That's fantastic. So I'll have to type it in manually. Glitch with the CPS, I'm guessing. So it's 146.94. So receiving 146.94. And the transmission is 146.34. So it's 146.34. Oops, 37. What the hell did I do that? Anyway, 146.34. The channel we're doing is not digital, so we need to set it to interesting, fixed analog, fixed digital. I'll have to look into that later on. As I say, we're just doing a basic today. It's okay. That's an interesting way of spelling analog. Transmit power. Ideally, you would start off with low, because you only really want to use as much power as required to link up to the repeater. So I'm going to switch that to low. Then you've got the bandwidth. So you've got narrow and wide. I'm just going to leave it on narrow. The scan list. I'm not going to add it to a scan list. This will be additional features I'll look at later on. Transmit allow. So that means you're allowed to transmit. You can turn this. Fibit transmit. Anyway, whatever. So as I say, we're just going to leave that as a default. Squelch leveling and squelch level, I mean, as a default. APRS, I'm leaving as off. Okay, so anybody else over here? No, I'm going to remove that. So next thing we need to do is analog. We need to know for the CTCSS with the DCS encoding and decoding, signal type. Okay, we'll leave that alone, leave that blank. So we need to go back here. What it's talking about here is what I mentioned before, which is the uplink tone. So the uplink tone is when you transmit. So it's 136.5. So let's jump back to here. And so it's transmit, which is this. When you encode it, when you transmit, you encode So let's look for 136.5. There's 136.5. I'm not going to touch any of the other settings in here. And okay, click OK. So we now have channel number 1 on this radio is going to be V7, named V7RPT. It's an analog. Analog. That's obviously a spelling. There's the receiving frequency, the transmission frequency, the power, the bandwidth, the CTCSS, or the, as it's called again, or the uplink tone. So it's CTS, there's no DCS, there's no CTS, there's DSCS receiving, and these are not used in analog. So, next thing we're going to do, I'm just going to pick, let's pick a random frequency for an, I need to make sure I've got a radio that's powered up here. Hold on a second. What about this one? Yeah, some of these radios I haven't shelled them up for a little while. Where's my K6? Oh. Okay, so I've got a K6 here. So I'll just put that to the side for the moment. Okay, so we're going to add a channel, and we're just going to call it, I don't know, simplex. Okay. Now I'm just going to pick I'm going to pick a frequency on the Baofeng here. Let's put 140. Oops. So that's 146 4 5. Okay, so I've got it at 146 450. So let's get this set to that. 146.450, and then 146.450. Analog, low. I'm not going to change anything else in here. I'm not going to put any codes on, no CTCS. It's just a straightforward open signal. Now we click OK. And that's pretty much it for the channels. So I'm not going to go into any of the other functions yet. As I say, this is just basic analog programming. So now what we do is we send that data up to the radio. So we go, right, I'm not going to bother digital contacts, and click OK. As you can see, it's now programming. It's still taking a little while to get this programmed. Oh, wow. Come on, you can do it. Not really too sure why it's taken so long. Maybe my cable is giving in on me, but I have plenty of other ones just in case. This is always the more reliable cable that I've used. I'll put a link into it in the description or in the video. I'll point it out. Anyway, now we click OK. Right, so the radio has written, and as you can see on the top here, that's it. Oh, I should have done some of the other settings. So you got 147, sorry, oh my god, V7RPT. And now if we change it to number, oops. What the? That's interesting. Where's channel 2? Okay, this is a little embarrassing here. Hold on, I'm doing something wrong here. What the heck am I doing wrong? Okay, so we've got... Where's it going? Right, it's at the top there now. I'm in VFO mode. How on earth did I get into VFO? Ah, right, there we go. So I'm back into frequency mode again. I mean, channel mode. I'm a little bit off as to why there are no other channels here. Okay, let's try that again. I'm not too sure what went wrong there. So let's read the radio. Again. So we're reading it. Have I picked a frequency that's outside the range? Possibly. Not too sure. I'll just wait for a second for this to load up. I was going to do the simplex one first, but anyway. Come on. I may cut some of this out because it's obviously don't want to sit there watching me make mistakes. Although that's the original idea of the channel, is to see what I do when I come across a weirdness, shall we say. Okay, so it's read the radio and channel 2 is still there. So this could be something, I don't know, this could be something else. So let's have a look at the number 1 channel. Double click. Okay, so that's the repeater. That all seems okay. Let's go to the next one. Right, simplex. 146. Okay, let's try. I don't know. Yeah, what? Put 85. 46.85. Analog, low, scan list, no, transmit, yes. Carrier squelch. Okay, just click OK. So it's I'll just change the frequency here. Let's just have a quick look in some of the other settings here to see if there's something else I've missed here. So, public, I know what that means. Okay, channel. So that's the channels. VF4, VFB. We've got zones, which I'm not using at this time. We've got, yeah, we'll use the scan list we're not using at this time. Roam zones we're not using. Roam channel, not using. Radio information, not much point in there. Optional features. So there's something else in here. Let's have a look. Auto power off, power on a picture, allow reset. Alert tones. I don't see anything there. Display. What have we got here? Call color, light, blur, different time yet. Okay, GPS, we're not using any of that yet. Record switch allows you to record. That's usually in DMR. Digital, we're not doing anything on digital yet. Work mode, we're not doing anything in work mode. Others, don't see anything in there. Stopping at VFO scan, no. Password, I'm not setting any passwords. Loan work, I'm not doing any loan. Menu, I'm not turning anything off or on. So there's nothing in there. So what about key function? Lock key manual, blah blah blah, power select. Okay, that's just the menu keys on the side. One key operation, not going to touch that at this point in time at APRS. We're not going to be using that at this point in time. Okay, so let's jump down to analog here. Have I missed something? So let's just DTMFs, 2 tones, 5 tones pieces. And there's nothing in here which tells me why that didn't work. So let's go back. So we have the 2 channels. Okay, well let's read it again. I mean, write to it again. So write data. Okay, and away it goes again. Come on, hopefully it doesn't take too long, so I didn't make any changes. And there it goes, slowing down again. If any of you guys out there have done the programming of this radio, does your programming do this? Slow down right at the very end, even though you're not using digital contacts? And you've only set up a couple of things, it'd be interesting to find out. If it's just like me, or if it's a common thing that happens. Come on, let's go. Okay, we've written it successfully, apparently. Okay, oh, there we go. I didn't press it again. Okay, so the radio's restarting and it's back on again. So let's have a look here. So let's go. It's interesting, it's saying null channel. Let's see if I can select into channel 2. Interesting, I can't select into channel 2. So let's... Huh. Okay, this is a little bit confusing, so I'm like, oops. I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing wrong here. So, let's I'm gonna put in an extra one here, just to see if there's some weird glitching going on here. So I'm gonna add, I'm just gonna leave that the way it is. I'm gonna add another one, gonna add another one, gonna add another one. Okay, let's just add 5 random, well, they're all on the VHF, UHF frequency, so let's just leave them like that. And then let's write the data again. Oh, wait a minute. What's an RX group? Why is that listed in... Let's have a look at this. It's got nothing to do with that. Interesting. I hope that's not having any weird effects. Anyway, so let's try writing that. Write data, and up we go. Unexpected bump in the road here, but maybe he's working through it. See where we went wrong. Yeah, that's the only thing that's caught my eye here. RX group 1. But that's normally DMR related. Normally. Anyway, there could be a weird quirkiness here. So let's see what the radio shows. So it should show 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 channels this time. So if I'm able to cycle through them, and I should be able to type 0, 3 or 0, 4 or something like that just to change the channel. So let's have a look here. Writing successful, and the radio should reboot itself. There we go. So let's have a look. Null channel again. Okay, so let's type 0, 3. Nope. 0, 4. No. Okay, back to this again then. What is going on here? Why can I only see 1? Okay, let's try this simplex one. So hold on, let's have a quick look at this one again. Analog, loud transmission, APR, squelch, blah 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 blah. Okay, squelch, yes. Analog, yes. Oh, what's fixed analog? Okay, so let's go to, I need to find the groups. See, there's the group list. Let's go to group list 1. Okay. Group list 1's contacts are in there. This is it. This is sort of confusing me a bit here. I don't want the contacts, so let's get rid of these bloody contacts. Okay. I'm going to get rid of the groups. Just leave one group. Encryption. Okay, so we'll go back here again. So let's double click on that. Oh, let's go back in here again. I'm going to, so let's select the digital, it's going to do that, but it's not a digital channel. Fixed digital? Okay, fixed analog. Let's select group list. I don't understand how this would even work, but anyway, let's put it back to analog. And click OK. So it's got that weird group thing in there now. So let's settings and write the data to the radio. Okay. As you may have guessed, this is the first time me trying to program this radio. So I hope you guys haven't come across this little problem. Okay, so let's wait for this to finish here. To be honest, I didn't think it would take me this long to do this. Analog's normally the easiest thing to do. Well, once you're used to DMR anyway. Okay, so we've got write successful and the radio's rebooting. Okay, let's see what we've got this time. Still a null channel. I am confused. Why am I confused? Okay. I'm missing something fundamental here. So, what do we got? Oh, hold on. What? The zones. God damn it. It's using zones. Ah, right. Okay, okay. Right, in zone 1, let's try this. And we say, okay, function demo. Let's get rid of that one. Okay, so zone 1, current zone 1, simplex, and RPT. So current zone A, zone 1, current channel A, B7 RPT, zone 1 again, current channel B, simplex. So let's program that. Let's see whether or not this makes any difference. Oh, I forgot to check the actual channel to make sure it listed that. Okay, well, let's just wait for it to finish here. Be interesting to know where you guys are in the world. While you're doing this, if you just pop a little comment in and just say, I mean, I don't want an address, but just whereabouts in the world you are. Be interesting to see the people that are viewing this and where they are, the distribution and stuff. It also helps you work out which languages to use. I don't know if you've noticed, I've been using, well, actually, YouTube is starting doing some audio translations into different languages. But I also use the subtitle function. So if I've got an idea of where people are, and obviously I can correlate all that information and work out which subtitles to use. Anyway, right, successful. And the radio should be powering on, and it already has because I was just jabbering away there. So let's come on to here. Okay, let's try again. And there it is. God damn it, Paul. Right, okay, so it needs the zone. Obviously, because I missed that, where it says zone. God. It says zone right there. Now, this keeps turning its light, its screen off. So let's quickly go and look for the screen settings. Display. Display brightness is 5. We'll leave that the way it is. Auto backlight duration. Just for the sake of this, let's put it on always for now. I wouldn't recommend doing it all the time because, well, it'll run out of battery pretty quickly. Okay, got the different channels. Yeah, you can set all the different zones. So let's set zone 1, zone A colour, sorry, as, I don't know, let's pick green. And this one, pick yellow. I'm sure that's going to look absolutely horrible, but let's try. And then we upload that to the radio. No. Oh dear me, that was close. Write the data and off you go. Ah, dear. Come on. I'll probably speed this up a bit in these sort of bits here because it's pretty boring just sitting watching a line and me trying to work out what to say. Yeah, I think I'll cut them out. Come on, you can do it. It would be interesting to know though if anybody else is having this weird delay at the end when it's writing. Maybe it's doing some sort of verification or something, or whatever. Anyway, here comes the radio. It's rebooting again. It's rebooted. Oh, yeah, it's changed this. It's changed the zone lettering. I mean, sorry, the zone color. That's all it's done. So I put it on here. Simplex. Oops. Right, I put it on simplex. And I've got my Baofeng K6 here. So let's remove. Now, bearing in mind these two are right next to each other, so this is just more of a frequency. Yes, it's working sort of thing. So I'm going to change on. Oops, and here I'm going to change. I'm moving from that one to this one, so I can broadcast in a simplex. Right, and it was 140, 146.85. That's hold on. 146.850. Right. Okay, I need to turn the volume up here. Okay, I'm just going to go out of the room here because you're going to hear me on the microphone. I mean, on the microphone in the room here. So just give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to go out of the room.
Victor Alpha 7 Charlie Oscar India doing a radio trek on simplex using the DM32 by Baofeng.
So I hope you guys heard that. I was in the other room. Obviously I can't hear whether or not it's coming out on this speaker, but I'll just do a quick. It seems to be working. So I'm going to have to cut this video short, but that is basically how you set up the Baofeng DM32uv digital radio, both on simplex and Oops, lost focus again. Both on simplex and repeater. So, yeah, if you have any more questions, then just, well, let me know. And it seems as though my my screen recording may have just conked off. I hope it got everything. If not, I will have to patch that onto the end of it, but we haven't really been doing anything on the screen. So, well, we'll see. Anyway, 7-3s, have a good evening, everybody, and the next video will be on how to use and set up and program the DMR. So it just basically builds on top of this, because you still need an analog frequency in order to transmit the digital data and receive the digital data. It's all done over an analog frequency, obviously. So yeah, 7-3s, everybody. Have a good evening, and I will see you all soon for part 2. Thank you. Bye-bye.